Hello, I'm Whisper. This is Dyson Sphere Program. Let us open up our relaxed game. We have just put down our Thornton belt maul, and I think we need to pick up a few more belts. That looks a little bit small. We're going to need to pick up quite a few more belts. Alright, we technically can start doing blue sides, however we're not going to. We still need to get our maul foundation down and running. This is just the basics here, so we'll leave it at that and start looking at what we need. We have, let's go into overview mode. We have stone, glass, iron, which is pretty much dedicated there, iron, which is pretty much dedicated here. Oh, that was dumb. Okay, we have apparently been running on flying on one wing here. That was not very good. Okay, instead of making 1.5, we're now up to making 3 a second. We do have leftovers. So we have iron, we have stone, we have stone, glass, circuit boards, yeah, that was definitely on the slow side. Circuit boards, magnetic coils. We do not have gears, and we probably want a dedicated iron just for the maul, because this one's dedicated here and this one's dedicated here. Where would be actually? Can we get? We can put gears into this area. Where do I have that? I think we are going to. What else might we need? We are going to make another dedicated iron build, and we need more smelters, another 3. We will be needing another one of these. We have a few of these. We definitely are going to need some more of these Tesla towers. And I guess we may as well go and make a few more of these. In fact, let's make a bit more, because once we get into our maul, we are going to find ourselves needing a lot more power. Alright, enough waffling on there. We want to put gears down. We'll have this space here. Not sure how far down we should go. Thinking you do that. Excellent. How far? We have 3 a second being used here. Go away, Matrix Lab, I know. 3 a second iron, that leaves us 3 a second iron here. We can, since these are running at 0.75, that means 4 will make 3 gears a second. Let's chuck in some power poles. And because we are making 3 gears a second, or will be, should be alright. Shouldn't take too much out of there. So, in, out, around about, and thank you very much. We'll put one here for gears. How many do we need? They stack to 200, so perhaps 3 stacks would be enough. We can build up. Excellent. Alright, so that will be the gears we need for our mall. We can pull out here later. Let's see. How's our power looking? Let's get a bit more. Icarus, just to make sure we don't run out while doing this. Okay, if we want, we can put, that's a decent sized patch, we can put some more miners here. Smelt it in this area, and it looks like we can bring it up over here, which will work. It's a little bit messy, but it will work. At this stage, that's not too bad a thing. We know that we will need to oops. We will need to upgrade at a later stage. But by then we'll be using PLS to bring in stuff that we need, so what the heck. PLS, ILS. Let us put another one here. Can we get 7? Yeah, we could. Maybe, yeah, just barely. Alright, let us bring in I did not mean to do that. Fingers are wrong, please. Just pop you over there. Let's bring this up and over here. And let us put down a smelting column for iron again. If we I think if we do this, I'll just manually do the buildings and let our drones deal with the rest of it. All the sorters and assemblers. Sorry, sorters and builds. Don't think we need those two actually. And once this is done, we will reverse. And bring that in. Make sure everything's powered. Now what comes out of here we will put into a box as a small buffer. Bring it out up here. That. certain that we don't have too many. Excellent. So that will give us 6 a second with a buffer. Let us, I guess we'll put it up here pretty much. Okay, we should be able to get it through here. And over this away. Let's just build that out. It will be nice to get some faster drones. Though we are relatively... oh, lack of item. Thank you, another 1400. House we could probably do with 600 of them. Right. We should have enough for what we need. Now again, I was about to put this across. We put that there, and then we do this to here. Oh, I already had that open. So glass out. We don't really need a lot of glass. The wall doesn't use much. And we do have a bit of a buffer there, so there's no need to go silly and... oh dear. Remember what I said about going silly? Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Yeah. Let's go up there and fill out our power for the moment. Once we go blue science, we are going to have a much bigger power problem, I would say. How are we looking? 15 megawatts. It will do for now. Alright, we have those there. Now the reason I'm putting this up this way is because I noticed that we could essentially pull things up and into the mall up here. And we may as well, rather than having too many crossing belts, we may as well just reverse them all. So we flipped it. So where can we put this? We better not go too far down, because we do want access to that copper patch. Do we have room? We do indeed. We can't get one there. Essentially, we are, at least at this point, using windmills for power, but eventually we'll just demote those down to using them for a power line, which just happens to create power in the process. We will use quite a bit of thermal power once we unlock it. Although, yeah, there will come a point where it's not going to be that efficient to use thermal power. because we are irreversibly burning. Alright, we have that there. Connect that, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to start. Let's think strategically here. If I bring that across there and then up. Now let's just have a double check of what the thing is. So we want circuit boards, then gears, then magnetic coils on the outside. So we can do, yeah, if we bring that up there, we can have those go on up and over. Then we can bring across the gears, then we can bring across the coils. So let's do that. Don't necessarily need to go that far, to be honest. Let us take that up there, and in fact while we are here, let us bring this here, bring that out a couple, and take that up there. So we're just going to prepare. Start everything on its way up. Now, here's our gears, we'll bring that here, snip there, and that will go up there. Oh, come on, our magnet coils up. We will essentially get our basics all ready so that we do not have to do things again. Let's hit R and can just connect that. Then we go to gears and finally circuit boards. There's a little bit about spaghetti, but it's not terrible. We will survive it. Let us, whoops, there. Let us do the same for iron. Stone going to stone. And then glass going to glass. Excellent. Now we'll just build it up. And connect it all up. At that point, we do not have to automate anything more for our basics. How are we doing? We potentially want a few more. 16 megawatts. Once we get into blue science, or once the mall really gets going, that's going to chow down a lot of that. Well, we will deal with that when we get to it. As long as we get our first lot, we should be able to catch up, and then we'll go thermal with our first blue science. Little slow drones. I could, honestly, in fact I will, just to show it that it can be done, is basically just long press these and they will be built manually by you. Depends how fast you want to go. Let's get these three going. And then down to here. I will do it. Just for the moment. Here, connect our circuit boards. We are done. The first part of our essentials mall is down. How are we looking? Power. We will throw that in. We have enough for now. We are going to be a little bit short for our second stage. Let's see. Well, just like I bought one. Build. Let us get this connected so that our assemblers will start being made. And then we don't have to make this ourselves. Actually, I can put all this back into the storage boxes. Oh, our first one. Yay! There we go. And let us put down our last bit of our basics, which is pretty simple. Matrix lamps, thank you. So yeah, I flipped it vertically, the belt, just so it would be neater looking, rather than running over the top of each other all the time. And all the way. Alright, what might we need to pick up? We could probably pick up a few of these. We definitely want a few more assemblers. Power poles. Grab them. We'll grab. We've got the miners and smelters now. We have enough of those. Should we grab? I guess we're here. We may as well grab another 30 odd. We'll wait a little more because I want to do something slightly different for our blue science and research. You'll see in a minute or so. Come on, give me one more. I want 9. Actually, give me another 3. I want 12 total. Alright, I think this is enough for the moment. Oh, let's grab a few more of these just in case we want them. Assemblers, and we definitely are going to need some more. Alright, while we do this, let us throw any extras back in here. Don't need to carry them around. One of the good things about blocking out areas is that you can throw stuff in and it won't be a problem. What else do we have? We need to put some here. That lot, and get rid of that lot. Alright. You know what? I should not have done that. Should have just brought that across there, like a sensible person would do. If I do this down here like this, there. Now I can pull out. I should probably have gone along there too. I could pull out that and pull out that. Okay, mistakes were made. Easily enough rectified though. That looks a little bit neater. And hey, why not? Okay. Time for some blue science. Do I want to put it there? Or I want to do this? Let's just put it here. You are going to make blue science. Then we can pull this down to here. And then we can pull this down to here. Yeah, that works. We can put there just to make absolutely certain that all will get powered. We'll bring, guess we'll put it down here, won't we? We put it along this line or what? We want to put down here, so can we get a box in here? We can without getting too close, which is worth doing. I guess then the blue science will come along here. Now we're not going to filter this. Sorry, we have filtered it. We're not going to limit this. And that's because we'll let the science build up and then just research it fastish once we decide we want it. Or once we've decided what we want to come and research next. That's is, yeah, I'll just throw that there. Messy. All right. One out. And we are only going to make, it takes 3 seconds per to make. So we will make 3 stacked and that will make 1 a second. Believe me, for what we are doing that will be plenty. Now the speedy bit we want is to have fastish research. So, should I put it there or should I just, no, we'll put, no we won't put anything there. Just clear the cache. Now, there, I want one there, and I want one there. Now you see I've left a gap between, that's so that we can very easily just power it all. And we are going to research. And by doing it this way, we can build up as we go, and then just blat it out at speed. So we can research it 1 a second. Sorry, we can make the blue science at 1 a second, However, we will be able to research at higher speed than you'd normally do if you just did 1 a second type of thing. You did just the 3. Okay, that is there. I guess that it would help if we put the inputs into our blue science. And now two is plenty. To be honest, 1 is plenty. Thinking about it. And as you can see, boy did we chow down on the power doing this. How bad is it? It's quite bad. Alright, we won't do too much down here at the moment. Actually, what we will do is we'll just leave that and we will head up to our moor area. By the time we get there, we should be able to throw down our thermal generator build. Thermal power, yay! Yeah, we are so much on the cusp of that. Thermal power. We need this so badly. So close. Excellent. Let us just sort of wait here until we get maybe half a dozen all up. 1 there. Another 5 then. What else might we want? We have plenty of belts, plenty of sorters. We could do with a few more boxes, a few more smelters, a few more depots, and I guess we'll have a few more in the way of how many do we have? We have our 6. So let us have a little leisurely walk down here. Oh dear, this is not the nicest. It is what it is. Should I? No, we've got enough of those. As you can see, they're just sort of accumulating. Now, we want some power. Let's throw that there. How far out can we go? In fact, we put that across to maybe over collision. Probably far enough to not worry about it actually. On the belt once we start running out. Alright, let us put down our first thermal generator. That's going to collide. Can get rid of that. In fact, that is a pretty decent idea. How much can we get here? 7 more. We put a... We don't even need to put a... We will though, because we'll probably need it for future. works. Let us try this again. Probably too close. It's going to glide. No, I was right before. Do it down here somewhere. No troubles. Gliding. Excellent. Thank you, thermal power. Do another one. Do another one. And that takes care of most of our thermal. Sorry, most of our power issues. Things can I put there? I can, but I need a couple more of those. So let's do that. How are we looking now? 28.8. Much, much better. Alright, that's fairly excellent. Where are we going to go next? I think we'll have a look at our technologies. So we can go, get out of there, we don't need that. We can go for the updated logistics. However, just for splitters, we kind of need the motors ready first and built. So let's do motors. We will get that. While we're here, that's actually fairly small, so while we're here, that's even smaller. We'll get that as well, just to prepare for coming around here. All this stuff later. What else do we need? We could go there. It is a legit option, but you know what? I want to upgrade Icarus a bit. Do we? Yes, we can get more construction drones and we can get more drone engines. So while we build this, we will get a benefit without feeling like we're wasting time. Should we go for more mass construction after that? No, not quite. Let's queue it. Let's have a look back here in tech. Mass construction will take about 5 minutes or so. These will take about 5 minutes between them. Say 6 minutes the lot up to there. You know what? I want to put steel in here and I will move you to there. So we will try, excuse me, burping. But you know, we'll move you to there and leave you there. Yeah, I think we'll leave it at that. We could do that. Yeah, but that's as far as we'll go. Once we've gotten that all done, we will have quite a lot of catch up to do these two. So we'll leave it at that and let us, we have power. Despite that, excellent. So we will actually research this lot very fast. Very fast. Where can we do things? Thank you for dropping in front of me like that. Oh my. We don't have a lot of iron. We could do iron there. Yeah, this lot's coming through very fast while I waffle around a bit. That's okay, we don't need to worry too much about it. More iron there, but we need our reclamation before we can really use it. Same with this, to be honest. I'm going to put you there, and the reason I'm going to put that there is so that I can drag power poles across the water. It will be nice, actually, now that I think of it. What is needed for flight? Pause. What do we need for flight? Yes, let's make 50 of those straight up. Handcraft. It's a little bit silly, but then we can do that. Potentially we do that now, we should be ready once we get to that point. Yep, let's make 50 of these. So for 50 of these we need 100 copper and 50 these, and let us make it's kind of silly to handcraft that, but we'll do it just because it's such a nice quality of life upgrade. How many of these do we have? We could potentially do with a few more. So let's get a few more windmills. That's a bit more than a few. 30 megawatts. Let's just sit here and wait. Because when I get to this point, 131, we can put a nice big belt of power slash, yeah, power slash energy across here. And by the way, I'm doing it this way. To make the windmills go like this, you hold down the control key. And now we just build. Do a few so they connect. Easy peasy. Later we will use foundations to fill in this area. and build things in between. For the moment though, we are doing all right as we are. This should give us a little bit more resiliency, the power. Okay. We need... Okay, what do we need for electric motors? We need plenty of iron. And we need some magnetic coils. Alright. So we may as well build everything here. Essentially we're dedicating a bunch of stuff to making what we need at this stage. Hello, can 7 times works. The 5 works as well. How do we want to do this? It is nice. And another 7 is nice. Alright, what we will do, I think... Yeah, let's start the power in here. Thank you. I think what we will do is we will do iron in this spot. Magnets in this spot. We can potentially do gears and magnetic coils in here. Do we have any copper nearby? Over there, a little bit out of the way, but see, oh well, we've got copper right up there. We should probably just extend up there a bit, shouldn't we? And then we can do something. Yeah, alright. That makes a certain amount of sense. Let's get back to smelting iron. We put you here, maybe? That was a bit off. Try better. We'll just put that down there. I'm not certain that's the best place to put it. However, don't know until we try. Thank you for the bigger blueprints. And there we are, we're getting our flight. Nice and easy. Let us connect up our dedicated iron line. Should we go this way? Potentially, yeah. Excellent. Now that we've done that, let us do magnet line, and we'll put you there. all about. It's sorters. It's powered. We'll leave you there for the moment. Well, speaking of, let us make sure we limit. We don't need masses sitting in there waiting. Especially these, back down to 1,000. So that stacks of 200. It's good that we have an extra bot and slightly faster ones. Well, I shouldn't say bot, drones. Excellent, we'll let that go. Now, what can we do here? Give me just a moment here. Okay, that was one dinging me. Easily sorted. Okay. Since we are on a line, let us make this a line. We can't put there, we can put there. Come on, here we are. Copper time. Now we do want 6 at least. So there we are. Ooh. And we can get 7 there. Plenty out of plenty is plenty. And I guess we're a little bit short there. Still, at this point, we don't need... Let's have a look. If we want to do 2 motors a second, that means we need 4 iron ingots. 2 gears, making that 8 iron ingots. No, 6 iron ingots. And 2 magnetic coils. We really don't need much in the way of a smelt line for this. So what we'll do is we'll place what we can place with a 4 sprint. There. Plenty. We will not need that many at this time. Easy. How do we want to do this? We'll probably, yeah, we will. Let me think here. We might end up with a little bit of belt spaghetti. Still, that won't hurt us. Yeah, that won't hurt us at all. And you are copper. Take you up to the full row. Yes, in comes... We'll do 2 of these. We'll do 3 of them, why not? It does not hurt. In fact, we'll go 4 of them. Because 4 means that we will be able to get... if that was Mark 1s, we'd be getting 8 a second. This would give us 6 a second. So we are using up all of our copper. And we are using up all of our magnets to do this. Okay, thank you for that. We'll leave our research sitting there. And actually, I will check to see if we have something more in technologies, sorry, upgrades we can get with blue. Takes red, takes red. This is something we will do next. We are working on this. Takes red. Yeah, we may as well get these. Doesn't hurt. I guess it doesn't hurt while it's in the background. We don't have what's needed for that yet. Drone engine is red, red. Energy shield we can do. We're just basically doing passive stuff in the background rather than researching technologies. These upgrades are great for us as such, and that one requires red science. All these require a lot more than we have. Yep, let's do that. Boom, that's it, blast through it all. And this one will be quite fast too. Okay, while that is doing that, let us focus on doing this. We can bring this up, across, along to here, and then we can bring this down, ooh, maybe not that far, across and along to here, and the output we will put here. Okay. Oh. Alright, if we need an extra there, yes, let's just put it there. Once we get splitters, we will work at converting this to being a splitter, a box on a splitter, rather than messing around with all of these multiple sorters, because they don't really go that fast. Okay, here we are. We'll do this. We will put you here. Oh. Speaking of splitters, sorters. Let's do that. You will be magnetic coils. We'll leave that the same since they stack too high. Sorry, 200 per stack. Alright. 1, 1.5, 1 out. 1.5 out actually. Done. We have all the points or items. No, we don't. We need to make some. Yes. Goodness me, saying we have all the items when we don't. We only need 2 gears a second, so let's make... not that one. What am I doing? We're going to make 2 motors a second, because that's all we need, and we'll have a little extra. Well, technically it won't be 2 motors a second, it will be 2 motors a second times 0.75. So 1.5 motors a second in ratio. And yes, we don't need to know ratios. Can we... Yuck. Alright. Yep, that means that we have to put them down here. Let's do it. And I don't want that. Let's just clear our fish. Oh, what's going on? There. What comes out will go there. What comes in, this is really where we need a splitter, will go there. Technically we don't need a splitter because we can just flat the iron down there. In fact, no, that is correct. In, out, in. And now, let's make those. And we will limit this once more. That should be plenty. Okay. Yeah. Control drag. Okay, 51 megawatts. We will start chewing that down once we start making motors. But that is to our advantage. Getting this done preemptively. Excellent. Time for our motor blueprint. Now let us have a look here. What do we have? Do we have a motor blueprint? Tiles. Yes, I knew I'd done it somewhere. Well, not a case of I knew, I thought. 1 per second, 2 per second. Or 1.5. Once we get this going, we do not need those. I suppose that we will flat these in at this end. It's easy enough. Yeah. Having to deal with this number of thought is, but when it comes to boxes, is why a lot of players will go straight and beeline logistics, the enhanced one. Okay, how do we want to do this? And bring it down here. I think so, yes. Take it along here and let's hit R to change the angles. There we are there. Oh, I forgot. We can fly! Yes! Thank you. That will make getting around things so much easier. And now that we have pretty much gotten everything ready, we'll just bring this up and start putting it into here, even though we don't have them building just yet. Now, if I remember rightly, these also go at 200 per. Do they? What does it tell us? It doesn't tell us how high they stack. I think it's 200 per stack. So, let us come up here. And start bringing these across. We'll do it to there. Then we'll hook you in there. Pretty near perfect. Well, totally perfect actually. And there we are. We have our motors. Well, we will have fairly soon. So, I suppose it is time for... Actually, we can do that. It's only 100. Yep, let's do that. And then let's look at this, because this uses 60 motors. And that should be relatively soon. Almost done already. We have those, and they are going nicely. Boy, that took a lot of area, didn't it? We will just sit here and pick these up until we have researched this. And then at that point we will go fly over, put down our next part of our sorter mall. Which will just give us Mark II sorters. Very handy to have. How's our... Okay, we've been 1 hour and 10 minutes. Once we do that, I think we will stop there. It's actually kind of relaxing to... Oh no, they're only 100. Okay, in that case, I'm going to put you up to about 500 there. Good thing I checked. So we get the last one. Final pickup in just a moment. Now the final pickup. Let's go back to our sorter mall. Where are we? Up over here. Okay, this is a use for a beacon so that we know where our mall is. Alright, sorter mall. Let's get back here. Mark II sorters. Nope. What have I done? I can't go that close, so I need to put there. And this is interesting. Can I manage this at this stage? Oh yes, we got our first splitter, one of, so you know what we're going to do there, don't you? At any rate, let us, yep, we can put that there. So now should probably put that straight into the build with a blueprint. Excellent. We will reduce this down to 1 stack. And now let us put in our splitters. Flipped version, splitters and traffic monitors. Excellent. There we go. And there's our first splitter out and our first traffic monitor. Oh, I don't think we need that many traffic monitors. We do, however, need a good number of splitters. Alright, we will leave it at this point. Ooh, what are we doing? Oh yeah, I see. We will leave it at this point, call it a relaxed interim location, relaxed junction, I'm not quite sure how to put it. I will do one more thing, since I think about it. Do we get hollow? Where was the hollow thing? Or was that over here? Where was the hollow tower? Energy matrix, semiconductor. Am I going insane? Or did that... Oh, here's the hollow beacon. We can't get that until we go there, so never mind. Actually, can we? No, we can't. We have to have these running first. Well, this one I would say. No problem. We shall save here. And that will be us. Cheers and enjoy Dyson Sphere program.